Hi everyone, it's Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to show you guys how to make hot chocolate bombs, and in a minute or so you're gonna see why I named them the ugliest hot chocolate bombs ever. But as long as you don't mess up the tempering of the chocolate like I did and you follow the steps without any interruptions, it's gonna turn out just fine. So let's get started. Start off by grabbing a large glass mixing bowl, and to that add in 12 ounces of dark or semi-sweet chocolate, and I don't recommend using milk chocolate here. Just be sure to use a good quality chocolate. I went with a bag of semi-sweet Ghirardelli chocolate chips, which worked just fine. So you're gonna first put that entire bowl into the microwave for 15 seconds and give it a nice stir, and then you're gonna take it out and repeat this for 5 more times with 10-second increments. So it's gonna be 15 seconds, stir, and then 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10, and 10 again. That should be plenty of time for that chocolate to melt very well and to have a nice shine to it. Now, let me tell you guys why I named these the ugliest hot chocolate bombs ever. I totally messed up the portion where you are tempering it because you want to melt it for 10 seconds and then take it out and stir it right away, not let the chocolate cool off. I have a newborn baby, so this is actually my second time shooting this video, and both times, especially during the melting chocolate portion, is when I have to tend to him, or he's crying or getting fussy or something's going on to where I have to stop, and then my chocolate would cool off a bit, which is not good. You want to just kind of keep going with the process until it's melted. So as long as you guys follow these steps, I promise it'll turn out okay. Just make sure you set aside some time to actually do this without any interruptions. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, as that does help to support my channel, and give me a thumbs up below, and make sure you turn on your notifications so you can be notified the next time I post another recipe. As you can see right here, you want your chocolate to have a nice gloss to it, and it stirs very easily as well. And you don't necessarily have to melt your chocolate the way I do. They even have those pots, little melting chocolate pots that you can use, so feel free to use that. It's actually even easier. Now grab your silicone chocolate mold, and I'll actually link to the one that I use below. They have all sorts of different colors, and it is super easy to use and very easy to get the chocolate out. And then get a paintbrush, and you're gonna start by adding 1 teaspoon of chocolate into each hole, and then sort of brush around in a circle and make sure you get all the way up to the edges on top, because you want to make sure that when you put the 2 pieces of chocolate together, that they're going to form together as well. So make sure you brush the tops as well, and then go ahead and put this in the fridge for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, take your chocolate back out of the fridge, and then make sure to warm up that bowl of chocolate for just 5 more seconds and stir it again really well. And then you're just gonna repeat this entire process again. I use, again, just a teaspoon of chocolate. I have tried for these spheres adding 1 tablespoon, and I did find that was just too thick. The chocolate bombs came out too thick and wouldn't melt as well in the milk. After you put these in the fridge for 5 more minutes, you're gonna take them out, and we're gonna slowly fill them and then put each piece of chocolate together, which should look a lot better than mine are if you tempered your chocolate correctly. If you did not, and you took breaks and let the chocolate cool off and all those pretty much mistakes that I told you about that I did, they're not gonna be as shiny. As you can tell right here, mine are not very shiny. I mean, they still taste amazing. They're delicious hot chocolate bombs, and they still will sort of explode, if you will, in your mug of milk. But if you follow the steps correctly, you should have shinier chocolate. You want to make sure you have something that will hold the shells while you fill them. So what I used was, for one of them, the silicone mat, and for the other 2, they're actually lids from baby bottles, from Dr. Brown's baby bottles, which I found holds them so well. And then you're just gonna fill 3 of them with a tablespoon of hot cocoa mix. I like to add some sprinkles too, just red ones for sort of a Valentine's Day theme. And then marshmallows as well, about 4 or 5 marshmallows. It's gonna create sort of a dome, so just make sure you do stuff them quite a bit, because don't forget that other shell is empty, so when you fuse them together, you want them to be full. Put the spheres together, and then you're gonna melt your chocolate for 5 more seconds, stir it, and either grab a piping bag or a Ziploc bag. We're going to pipe some chocolate around those gaps where the spheres meet so that they can come together. And this actually, honestly, in my opinion, is the hardest part of making hot chocolate bombs. But if you melt your chocolate the correct way and it's not as soft as mine turned out, it'll be a lot easier to bring them together. And you may even have a hole in them like I did, but that's completely okay. You can always cover those up with sprinkles. Some people even like to add graham cracker crust onto their hot chocolate bombs. That tastes good in hot chocolate as well. Whatever you choose, but we're going to decorate them anyway, so don't worry too much about them looking perfect. If your hot chocolate bombs turn out as ugly as mine did, go ahead and just decorate them. I just melted some white chocolate chips and drizzled that on top. Some caramel drizzle is also really, really good with hot chocolate bombs, and especially when you mix it in with the milk, that is super good. You can do sprinkles, edible glitter. Really, there's so many different ways. As long as you think it's gonna taste good in your mug, go ahead and top it off with that. And one last final big tip I have for you guys is if you want that entire explosion effect, if you will, with the hot chocolate bomb inside your milk, make sure your milk is super hot, especially if you make thick hot chocolate bombs. Make sure it's very, very hot or it's going to melt slowly and then it's just not as much fun. So that's just another sort of mistake I made. Hopefully you guys will learn from me. Let me know if you guys give them a try and how they turned out. I definitely hope they look nicer than mine, but regardless, they're going to taste delicious. So I will see you guys next week.